Hello everyone, welcome back to another game of Cinderella Phenomenon. This warm July afternoon. For me it is. It's pretty nice out, it's very beautiful. 27 degrees Celsius maybe? 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We just had the 4th of July yesterday, if you're an American. Hope you had some nice celebrations. I know that Bastille Day is coming up soon, so speaking of Bastille, we were going to break Lucette's father out of prison, from what I remember. We were making plans for that, so let's continue on with the game and let's just get right into it. Yes, I remember now. They were discussing, and Karma made a plea, Claude made a plea to Lucette to stay behind during their raid on the palace because he didn't want her to get hurt. So she said no, and we're out in the forest practicing. Jurian and Gollum are here. And let's just get right into it. Jurian, today I will land another hit in you, Karma. Claude, if you can, darling, I welcome the challenge. Princess, your side is open. That's Gollum speaking. I bring my sword up closer to my side as Gollum strikes me. Tonight is the first night I get used to a real sword as opposed to a practice sword. That must be pretty intimidating. The sounds of metal clashing echoes into the night. Is this what a real battle feels like? We have been practicing under skirmish conditions for the last few days. Since tomorrow is the day we enact our plan, we are doing some last-minute practice. Claude, remember, fighting back to back is better than doing it alone. Claude dodges Jurian's sword as he speaks, but I notice that he seems to be taking special care not to look in my direction. He's been fine for the last few days, but I am not sure when his pain will return. If only he would tell me what is wrong with him. When Claude finally calls the end of the practice, we are all exhausted. Good job, everyone. You'll all be fine tomorrow. Gollum turns to face me, a soft expression on his face. And if it comes down to it, Jurian and I will protect you. Gollum looks over his shoulder at Claude. Both of you. That's our job as knights. Claude, I'm quite capable of protecting myself, but I do appreciate the offer. Jurian, it's late. We should all get some rest. The two knights excuse themselves, leaving me with Claude. Lucette, you should go to bed. Princess, I have a feeling I won't sleep much tonight anyway. Be that as it may, you should still try. I'm about to retire for the night as well. Okay, we have a choice here. I want to keep practicing, or I want to talk to you. Well, I suppose practicing anymore isn't going to help that much. And I do want to talk to him. I want to talk to him about the almost heart attack he had. So, let's talk to him. About what? Claude takes a step back and I stare at his hand as his hand absently moves to his chest. Are you really okay, Claude? I've been perfectly fine this past week. He's lying. He's obviously in pain. Why do you have to keep your pain a secret? Why wouldn't you talk to me? I've told you before that some things are better kept a secret, Princess. Claude sighs out, then leans forward to set a hand on my head. Lucette, promise you'll stay behind me if we're attacked. And if at any point it looks like we may not make it, you're to run as fast as you can back to the machine. But that is cowardly. Lucette, don't you remember what I said before? Sometimes running is the right thing to do. Never run into an impossible situation. Instead, live to fight another day. Promise me you'll stay behind me. Please, Lucette. Give me that peace of mind. Well, I guess I could promise him that. I mean, I should. He really is a better swordsman, far better than I ever will be. And possibly I could help him out, so I can be an addition to his fighting. So, a supplement, supplemental. So, I promise. I mean, unless something, happens if we get split up or something like that obviously I can't promise, but yeah, I promise. If it will make him feel better before going into this mission, I cannot deny his request. Claude's expression softens as he moves away from me. I'll stay behind you. Thank you, Princess. Does that mean we made the right choice? Well, let's attempt sleep in preparation for tomorrow. When this is all over, I'll pry Claude's secrets out of him. Another picture, nice picture of Claude. Tonight is the night, and everyone is just about ready to go. I can't get this feeling of foreboding off my chest. Everyone is gathered close to the door, ready to see us off. Everyone except Princess. It's Rumpel. Rumpel suddenly appears, and he's coming up to stand right next to him. What are you two doing here? Well, of course, we came to wish you good luck, just like everyone else here. We'll be waiting for you tonight so that we can celebrate everyone's return. Oh, it's Rod and Emmeline. Rod, be careful. Emmeline, who has been everywhere with her brother since they came here, is standing right beside him now with a smile. Emmeline, I will pray for your safe return. Her smile wavers, and I could tell she is uncertain. Rod, she has the great knights of Caldera, 2 witches and a prince. She'll be fine. Rod's responses are curt as usual, but I cannot help but notice the hesitance in his voice. Even though he stares at me without expression, I think I can see a tinge of worry in his eyes. Jurian. Rest assured that we will keep the princess safe. Gollum. We're not going to let the outcaster get away with what he did to Angel and its royal family. No. Here's Parfait and Delora. Parfait steps forward last. She and Delora glance at each other, and I feel as if some secret message bounces between the two of them. Delora nods ever so slightly, before Parfait turns to the rest of us. Her eyes eventually fall on me. You've changed since you've been here, Princess, but your dedication and resolve never wavers. It has always been there, just beneath the surface. Stubbornness or resolve? It is as if Parfait is able to read my thoughts. She smiles as she sets a hand on my shoulder. Your dedication is very much like King Gennaro's. You are proud and honorable, and always take steps in the right direction. That is why I know you will be back tonight. Just as Rumpel said, we'll all be waiting for you. All of you. Stay safe tonight. Wait, I thought Parfait and Delora were going. Okay. Anyway, I nod my head as everyone gathers around and begins to repeat their hearty goodbyes. It is Delora who walks away first. We all follow behind. Night has just begun. Oh, it's just Delora who's coming with us. Okay, not Parfait. Okay. Our way to the palace gates is uneventful, but we pause some distance away from them to take shelter in a nearby alley. Lucette. There are knights everywhere. Waltz points to what looks like a regular section of the wall. There's the hidden door to the tunnels. If we time it right between the knights' patrols, we should be able to make it. On my signal. Claude puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. It is an abrupt gesture and doesn't last long, but the motion calms my nerves somewhat. We'll be fine. Oh, okay. We're at the gates now. We're in some dungeon tunnelway. Okay. Lit up by torches. Yeah, and some iron gates. Our footsteps echo in the tunnel. Standing in front of me are Jurian and Gollum, who are flanking Waltz. Delora stands beside me and Claude is at my back. This small tunnel makes it seem like we brought a lot of people. Waltz. This way. We silently follow Waltz's instructions. How is it that Waltz knows about these tunnels? Jurian. I've already taken into account the guards and where they might be positioned based on Prince Rod's information. We should be alright. Gollum and I will act as distractions if needed. Gollum. Princess, leave most of the fighting to us, if there's any to be done. I know. I will only fight if I need to. Waltz. If only I wasn't cursed, I would be able to fight to my full extent. I think you're still quite capable without all of your magic, puppeteer. Oh, a compliment? It's an honor. Miss Karma. I'm only in this dress because of Jurian, you know. Oh, that's right. Jurian crosses her arms and cocks an eyebrow at Claude. I wouldn't fall in love with you no matter what you say. That's what they all say. We're here. Suddenly everyone goes quiet. I feel a lot heavier as I stare at the staircase in front of me. This should lead to the throne room. I did not know we had a secret passage in the throne room. How much does Waltz know about the palace? Immediately after we step into the throne room, we split apart to avoid the guards' gazes. I step close to Claude and Waltz as Delora conjures a blanket of shimmering fog that envelops the guards. Now we're in the throne room, and there's a couple of guards here. Oh. Delora casts a spell. I watch as the guards' eyes close before they slump to the ground. Delora drops her hands once. All the guards are truly asleep. Amazing how intolerant humans are to magic. Waltz, let's keep going. Okay, looks like we're in a courtyard area. Getting through the palace is no easy feat. Hallways that were easy to get through before are difficult to traverse, now with all of the soldiers standing around. Delora casts a spell to silence our footsteps into quiet muffles, but moving is still difficult, especially with such a group. Eventually, we arrive just outside the tunnels that should lead to the castle's prison. Yeah, they should have seen if they could get a hold of Fritz. Waltz, I'll stand watch. Lucette, be careful, Waltz. I will. We enter another network of tunnels. Jurian, Galen, after you. Jurian glances at me briefly, and then at Claude, who nods, a little stiffly. Jurian, we'll be right back. In accordance with the plan, Claude and I are left at the hallway point of the tunnels to ensure a clean escape as Delora, Jurian, and Galen continue on to the prison. Lucette, they should be fine. But still, I am still worried. My eyes wander to Claude, and I bite down on my lower lip when I notice that his hand is once again raised to his chest. I find myself reaching out to grab Claude's hand, but he swiftly pulls it away. The glare on his face takes me by surprise. Why is he so angry? Claude puts a hand to his chest and flinches as he leans on the wall. Not now. His voice sounds so pained. What is he talking about? Claude? I just need some space, Princess. But I'm fine. I cannot help but feel irritated at the way Claude has snapped at me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be this way. He trails off, his eyes distant. Because of your curse, right? Most of the time he is sociable and a pleasure to talk to, but then he reverts to this state. It is like he is two different people. I cannot understand why he is like this. Why do I care so much for someone who keeps secrets? Lucette, I wish I could explain, but if I did, you would hate me. Well, or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. Okay, I have a choice here. I could say I could never be afraid of you. Well, why would I be afraid of you? I guess I could be afraid of him, but why? I want to know why more than I. Why would I be afraid of you? You've never done anything frightening before. You aren't a frightening person. The only time you ever frighten me is when you're like this. When you look like you're in pain and when you keep secrets. The secrets are my own selfish desire, but they for your safety too. You're talking in circles. Why won't you just tell me what's going on? Claude's voice trails off at the sound of running. His hand moves quickly to the hilt of his sword, just as I reach for mine. It's Gollin. We only relax when we see it as Jurian, Gollin, and Delora heading towards us. Why are they alone? Where are the king and queen? Gollin. They weren't in the prison. Jurian. I have no idea where else they could be. Delora steps out from between the two of them, her expression somber. This doesn't bode well for us at all. We can't keep sneaking without a direction. That's a sure way to get caught. Oh wow. That does not sound good. The words have just left her mouth when the alarm sounds behind us. Don't tell me. It's the alarm. Everyone draws their weapons as Waltz appears, running towards us with a harried expression on his face. Waltz, the knights are on their way. How did they know we were here? In seconds I hear the clanking of metal, and then there are knights upon us. We are forced to scatter to deal with different opponents. A guard rushes at me with his sword, and I somehow manage to block his attack. I should be able to wind around him. The knight falls after I catch him from behind and give Claude an opening to attack him. Lucette, stay behind me. I promised I would, remember? Let's keep it that way. A smile flashes across his face, and for a few moments he seems more like the Claude that I know. The knight manages to separate Claude and I, leaving me by myself. He grabs my arm. Unhand me. Well, I watch in shock as a shimmering fog surrounds my attacker, his eyes closing as he slumps to the ground. He is only the first to fall. Seconds later, most of the knights in my immediate vicinity have fallen to the ground. I can tell by the subtle rise and fall of their chests that they are asleep. Delora. Sorry, I couldn't focus long enough to cast that spell earlier. Delora drops her hands and turns to address Waltz, Claude, and I. Head toward the entrance hall. The king must be in one of the central rooms. Jurian, Gollin, and I will head to the bedchambers in the east wing to look for the queen. Waltz, splitting up is not part of the plan. We don't have much of a choice anymore. If we're going to get the king and queen out of here, we have to improvise. Now go. Claude grabs my hand and jerks his head at Waltz. Let's go. The three of us rush out and into the palace hallways. I keep my gaze forward while Waltz and Claude watch for enemies on either side of us. And all right. Claude grabs his sword and moves before Waltz and I can respond. He dives low toward a soldier, his sword poised straight for a devastating blow. Knights begin to approach us from the left, and I raise my sword, readying myself. Oh. Walt snaps his fingers, a flash of light blinding the men in the immediate vicinity, and they use the opportunity to rush the knights in front of me. I grit my teeth as I attack. Most of my blows are lucky. There are too many knights for me to be able to get the upper hand. There are so many of them. Voice. Some voice. Well, if it isn't the most desirable princess. Who's this? I whip around to attack the man that spoke to me, but he is nowhere to be found. Where is he? Who are you? Voice. I wonder. Claude. Lucette. I turn and see Claude running toward me, a panicked expression in his eyes. I take a step toward him when a masked man suddenly blocks my path. What? Who's this guy? Sorry, there's a man all dressed in black, with an ascot and a very flumpy looking, with a mask on his eyes, black hair. I've never seen him before. I don't think. He has a cane with a wolf head on it. Lucette. Who are you? I raise my sword, but the masked man taps his cane on the floor before I can swing. Oh. An incredible pressure blasts out from the cane. It shoves Claude to the floor and blows me backwards. I hit the wall hard and my vision darkens. Oh no. Oh God, everything went black. Claude. Where am I? Why can't I see anything? My head hurts. Voice. Rise and shine, sleeping beauty. I jerk upright at the familiar voice. You're the man who knocked me out. The man laughs, and I blink as I try to pinpoint the direction of his voice. Did he blindfold me? I command you to take off this blindfold. I don't take orders from princesses that no one remembers. But I am a gentleman, so I suppose I shall have to heed a lady's request. Okay. The blindfold is abruptly pulled off, and I flinch at the sudden brightness. No. We're in the throne room with the masked. Oh, man. Why, hello there, princess. My captor looks at me, amused. He wears a crooked grin on his masked face, and a cape on his shoulders. Who is he? My eyes wander to the throne, and I cannot help but gasp at what I see. The king is strapped to the throne, hands bound, mouth covered. It's King Gennaro. Your Majesty. The king pauses to look at me, his eyes containing a mixture of alarm and confusion. I turn to glare at the masked man. Let him go. No can do, princess, though. Don't you think he still looks regal sitting on a throne like that? I grit my teeth as I begin to struggle against my bonds. Struggle all you like. You won't get out of those knots anytime soon. Who are you? The masked man drops into an elegant bow. I am called Varg. Varg? What have you done to my father? Me? Nothing. Well, nothing much. I guess gagging a person and tying their hands behind their back counts as something. Are you working for Sir Alcaster? I don't work for anyone. So he's a mercenary? The door flies open and an Alcaster steps in, his face full of anger. His Alcaster. Mithros, the fool. How absolutely useless he was. Varg gives a dismissive shrug. He regards me again with his mischievous smile. While I do agree with that wholeheartedly, that man is in the past. Here in the present, you have someone far more interesting to deal with. Varg gestures at me. I glare at Varg before turning my gaze to Alcaster. I used to think Alcaster was someone to be respected. Not anymore. Alcaster. If it isn't the princess herself. You remember who I am? Once Mithros made the connection, it was just too obvious to be false. Could Sir Mithros remember me? Alcaster shifts his attention to the king. Why would Sir Mithros remember her? Is he cursed as well? Well, okay, well. Alcaster shifts his attention to the king. Gennaro, do you not remember this girl as your own blood daughter? My eyes meet the king's, but I see no recognition in his gaze. You cannot remember me. I haven't managed to break my curse yet. Why are you doing this to my father, to the kingdom? Everything I do is for the kingdom. All successful rulers have run with an iron fist. Fear is the best motivation. A king that is too lenient and does not inspire fear has no business being on the throne. But the people of Angel love their king. Before I had thought that the town people were despicable because they hated me. Now I understand those reasons. They may have judged me as my mother's daughter, which is wrong, but that does not mean they should be subject to a regime of fear. Your obligation as a ruler is to rule for the country, not the people. Back when the queen was still alive and this place knew the fear of the witches, they were far more productive. Fear motivates. Fear makes a man. A soldier runs up now. King Alcaster. King. Okay. Alcaster. You better have a good excuse for interrupting. Soldier. Your Highness, there's a beast. What are you blathering about, you fool? A beast. A magical beast is rampaging through the palace. Is this the dead witch's doing? Dead? Witch? No. Delora is fine. She has to be. Out with it. Did Mithros do this? What? I cannot stop myself from blurting out the question. Sir Mithros is a witch? He was a witch. But now he's dead. Oh, that's how Sir Mithros knew who she was. Alcaster. He turns to his knight and demands more information. I am too shocked to hear their words. Sir Mithros. A witch? Impossible. Alcaster. What of the other palace intruders? We've managed to apprehend some of them, but we can't get to everyone with that beast taking us out. That damn Mithros. Still a pain even after death. What did you do to Sir Mithros? Did you not hear me, girl? He's dead. Killed by my hand. But why? He was helpful at first. We worked together to achieve our own personal goals. He eyes me cautiously. He wanted you, Princess. If Sir Mithros was a witch, that would explain why he still remembered me. Why did he want me? Who knows? It doesn't matter anymore. I gave him my knights to assist him in his search when the witches could not. But in the end, that fool was too power-hungry. You never entered into my plans. You would have been safe, Princess, had you just stayed put. But now that you're here, you'll come in handy. Alcaster turns his back to the knight, who immediately burst into explanation once more. Turn back to the knight. Okay. The beast is moving quickly. We don't know how much longer we can keep it from this room. There's a beast at the palace. And that's what Mithros is doing? I'm so confused. And what about the others? Are they okay? Let me go, Alcaster. We're not going anywhere. Sounds like some of your friends are very persistent. They'll be coming for you. And when they get here, I'll kill them. You, Princess, are going to make excellent bait. It's Varg again. You know, I like this turn of events. Kind of amusing. You. Tell me what all of this is. Varg looks unmoved by Alcaster's anger. It's Mithros that summoned this beast, is it not? Then you must know what is happening. You're asking me, of all people? As if I would be able to answer any of your questions. You. Oh, what the hell was that? Varg. Doesn't matter how many times you say my name, Alcaster. I won't have any answers for you. Sir Alcaster turns to me, his eyes manic. Whether this is Mithros' magic or magic belonging to one of your friends, I'm not going to let it live. Could Delora create a beast out of thin air? Sir Alcaster draws his sword from his sheath and curses under his breath. Okay. We're going to stop here. Just as the beast is going to enter the room, I guess. This file is getting much longer than I expected, so let's tune in next time for the beast that breaks into the throne. And I wonder what it is. So, okay. Well, thank you for listening, and I'm glad you're back with me. And stay tuned, and we'll be right back.